Known for hosting weddings, during the pandemic, downtown Tucson Z Mansion is not the destination it once was, but it is still a destination nonetheless. One that caters 7 days a week to a clientele that comprises some of the city's most vulnerable, those without a home. For almost 20 years, the Z Mansion has served as headquarters for this type of support through the nonprofit Workship Project. Organizers estimate they have served more than 500,000 meals, averaging about 500 a week during the pandemic. On this night, volunteers prepped dozens of to-go style plates. At 18 years old, Shane Urbaniak is a seasoned cook in the kitchen who began volunteering here 5 years ago.
Well, before the pandemic started, this whole courtyard would be filled with tables. Everyone would be sitting family style. There'd be people going by asking if they needed anything.
Orange juice?
Excellent.
Now guests line up. Volunteers wear masks, face shields, and gloves. Those in the kitchen need a food handler's card, and speed is crucial to reduce potential exposure to the virus.
We get in there, we get it done, and we get everything cleaned up and shut down, and it doesn't even look like we were there by the time we're finished, which is really amazing if you think about it.
Workship also distributes clothing, blankets, and first aid, a vital service during the early stages of the pandemic. Last spring, tents went up in the mansion's driveway, where healthcare volunteers treated homeless COVID patients. Among the volunteers tonight, Sisters Kendall and Sierra Kalel. Pursuing degrees in education and nursing respectively, helping others is in their nature.
Some people, they'll see someone who's experiencing homelessness and, turn the other way, but whereas we try to do everything we can to, make a connection with you.
Very beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So my role, I would say, is just as someone who deeply cares and wants to know and ask how their day is.
For volunteers, the needs of others outweigh the risk to their own health.
Do you need a blanket?
Yes. It comes out of just the fear is if I don't, then who will? These are people that need help, that need us, that need to be able to feel human again. I remember a couple weeks back, somebody talked to me that this is the only food that they get, period.
As volunteers wrap up meal service, Steve T. prepares to tuck in for the night in the same alley. He tells us he's battling lung cancer, and he became homeless 6 months ago after losing his job.
No, but when you don't make a lot of money, it's real easy. Paycheck to paycheck, sleeping on a slab. You know why I call it the slab? Sleeping on a slab of concrete.
The struggles of getting enough to eat, finding a safe place to sleep, or even a clean restroom compounded by the coronavirus.
But what really gets me is the people walking around without these. The people that just don't believe this is real. I'm not going to a shelter. Right now, during this COVID, a shelter would be a death trap for me with my lung cancer.
Recognizing that hazard, City of Tucson officials say shelters have cut capacity by half based on guidance from the CDC. Concerns about an influx of high-risk people left without shelter prompted the city to launch a hotel program where those with COVID could recover safely in isolation. About $3.5 million in CARES Act funds have gone toward the program, which officials say they plan to keep operating for at least 3 more months, a move applauded by nonprofits like the Primavera Foundation.
We try to get rid of any kind of barriers or gaps to their becoming more stable. So that could be shelter services, it could be eviction prevention, it could be utility or emergency rent, it could be free mail and message service.
CEO Peggy Hutchison says Primavera serves several thousand people each year, and the need has grown, especially when it comes to helping people in danger of losing their homes.
So typically in a year, we might serve between 300 and 500 households with emergency rent assistance, eviction prevention, utility assistance. This past calendar year, we did over 2,500, and that was just our organization.
Recently, the CDC extended a federal moratorium on evictions through the end of March. The city has also put up nearly $3 million toward rental assistance and eviction prevention, and it has received $16 million from the feds that it hopes to start distributing next month, much-needed funding to address a pressing problem. But stakeholders say effectively tackling issues around poverty requires more. For Hutchison, that's collaboration between community groups and local government leaders.
You know, it's such a privilege to live here and work here and be a part of this community because we all pitch in. We're not trying to get more money than the other. It's like, how do we work together?
Compassion can also be priceless.
There's good people out there, and that's what keeps people like me going.
If you want to learn more about volunteering or donating to the Workship Project, visit their website, workship.org. You can also learn more about the Primavera Foundation services at primavera.org.